Today, we got Black Panther and Blue Marvel taking on Midnighter and Apollo. Who wins? Let's find out. T'Challa is the Black Panther, King of Wakanda, one of the most technologically advanced nations on Earth. He is among the top intellects and martial artists of the world, a veteran Avenger, and a member of the Illuminati. Using his powers and abilities, he has pledged his fortune, powers, and life to the service of all mankind. When T'Challa became the Black Panther, he was allowed to eat the heart-shaped herb, which provided him with enhanced strength, endurance, and reflexes. He was also given a blessing from the Panther goddess, which elevated his enhanced strength, endurance, and reflexes to superhuman levels. T'Challa has demonstrated incredible strength, like wrestling a rhino to the ground, being able to stop an elephant's charge, and sending Namor flying with a kick. He's able to withstand crushing blows and puncture wounds. But really, his vibranium suit helps him out a lot. T'Challa's reaction time is far greater than most opponents, and his agility and flexibility far surpasses an Olympic athlete. Black Panther is a genius, on par with Tony Stark and Reed Richards, and is an excellent hand-to-hand fighter. He has been groomed to be a warrior since birth, and is a master of practically all forms of armed and unarmed combat. T'Challa is seen as one of the best fighters in the Marvel Universe, and he stalemated or won against such fighters as Iron Fist, Wolverine, Daredevil, and Captain America. Black Panther is a king of a highly advanced civilization, and thus has tons of fancy gadgets. His suit is made of vibranium microwave mesh, which robs incoming objects the momentum, and is completely bulletproof. He also has anti-metal claws, which breaks metal down on the molecular level, and energy daggers that are powerful enough to slice through various structures and foes. Finally, T'Challa can also call upon all the knowledge, strength, and experience from every Black Panther before him. Then on that same team, Blue Marvel. When Adam discovered his superpowers, he fashioned a secret identity with which to protect his country, and became Blue Marvel. He served as a hero for years, and was one of the most popular heroes of his time. However, Adam was pressured by the government to retire, because of how much power he had and for being black. He was later forced out of retirement to face his greatest foe and former best friend, Anti-Man. Blue Marvel's powers are a result of radiation from the negative zone, and turned him into one of the most powerful beings in the universe. Adam is the first antimatter generator, and this antimatter is the source of his power. He possesses vast physical strength, and is in the same league as Thor, Hulk, and Sentry. The upper limits of his strength are unknown, but he has been able to knock Sentry out with one punch, easily move a meteor the size of Arkansas, and the Watchers said he was capable of splitting the moon in half. Blue Marvel is also as durable as heroes like Thor and Hulk, and even withstood a nuclear detonation at Ground Zero without any sign of harm. Despite his nigh invulnerability, he can still be injured, but Adam has a regenerative healing factor and can recover incredibly quickly. Blue Marvel can fly by manipulating gravitons and magnetic fields, and can fly far beyond supersonic speeds. This means that he can move and think thousands of times faster than a normal human. Blue Marvel also has superhuman reflexes, agility, and stamina. However, what really sets Blue Marvel apart is its antimatter manipulation. Antimatter releases energy at 100% efficiency, and 1 gram of antimatter contains the same energy as an atomic bomb. With this, he can release beams from his hands that can cause extreme damage. He can also lower the intensity to simply stun opponents. Blue Marvel can also release an omnidirectional antimatter pulse, hit with antimatter enhanced punches or create energy shields. He's also able to manipulate other forms of energy, and can manipulate matter at a molecular level with great precision and control. Then, other team, Midnighter and Apollo. Midnighter is an augmented hero with superhuman physical abilities, and the power to run through thousands of fight scenarios in his head before a single punch is thrown. Although he's one of the good guys, Midnighter enjoys violence and brutality, and never feels more alive than when he's in the middle of a bloody brawl. Midnighter's abilities give him an all-encompassing advantage in close combat and tactical scenarios. He's got superhuman strength, reflexes, healing, senses, aim, and various other enhancements. His body has been altered to give him superior balance, and he's got faster nerve endings, which allow him to move and react faster than any human. Midnighter has multiple redundant systems built in order to keep him fighting in even the worst of conditions. For example, he has a backup heart, can turn his pain receptors off, and has fought with a hole in his chest, his whole body on fire, and a broken neck and broken limbs. Midnighter's most famous ability, though, is the fact that he can predict how a battle will happen or play out before it even starts. This is because he's got a built-in combat computer that allows him to run it through a given combat situation millions of times in his mind almost instantaneously, and he can cover nearly every possible result before the first punch is thrown. He then uses this information to predict the actions and reactions of his foes, and he even has the ability to see the outcome of the battle that he wants, and then work his way backwards and follow the right steps to get there. He has a business card made up that reads, "I know what special abilities you have. I can detect the increased electrical activity in your brain. I know what moves you're preparing to make. I've fought our fight already in my head in a million different ways. I can hit you without even seeing me. Your move." Midnighter also regularly carries knives, a bow staff, throwing stars, and grenades. Then, finally, we got Apollo. Apollo is a solar-powered member of Stormwatch, is one of the leading members, and it's safe to say that he is extremely powerful. He's also known for his relationship with fellow Stormwatch member Midnighter. Apollo's abilities are powered by solar energy, which he absorbs from the sun's UV rays, similar to photosynthesis. And he's able to store in limited quantities inside his body. However, if Apollo ever loses exposure to the sun, he'll quickly lose his powers, starting with his ability to fly. But he's only got to be exposed to the sun for about 20 seconds. He's able to regain his powers, and is fully charged in 2 hours. So he's able to quickly recover from lack of sunlight. At full power, Apollo is strong enough to practically level city blocks, destroy entire spaceships the size of continents by flying through them, is able to absolutely annihilate other superpowered beings, and is strong enough to battle against Captain Atom. He's even durable enough to no-cell attacks from Captain Atom, who had just earlier beat Mr. Majestic with 2 shots. He can withstand the molten heat of the Earth's core, and Apollo has even been hit hard enough to send him sailing around the planet, and he remained conscious. Apollo is also ridiculously fast, as he's been able to quickly fly from the moon to Mars, and even traversed across the Earth in less than 30 seconds. Apollo has also got some pretty powerful energy projection powers. He's able to shoot energy from basically any part of his body, such as his eyes, hands, or even his mouth, and those beams have caused some serious destruction before, and taken down powerful enemies. He also isn't afraid to get his hands a bit bloody, or fight dirty either. He flew straight through a guy's head before, and he's even said that he's been trained in how to fight, because strength means nothing if you don't know how to use it, and that you can't be married to Midnighter without learning how to fight dirty. However, Apollo's got some serious weaknesses as well. Namely, the guy almost has no endurance, as his energy and power reserves can be quickly depleted, and he's actually just straight up run out of energy during several fights. Apollo also isn't particularly smart or clever, as even his husband, Midnighter, refers to him as a dumb blonde. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, with this being a team battle, the first thing I'm going to take a look at is their team chemistry. Who works better together in a fight? Well, that's obviously Midnighter and Apollo all the way. Now, that's not to say that Black Panther and Blue Marvel don't have good chemistry. They've been on the same team and actually work really well together, both in the science lab and out on the battlefield. But Apollo and Midnighter are married, know each other much better, and have just been in more fights together. There's really no way that they don't have better chemistry. However, even though it is a team fight, I think it's pretty obvious how these teams will pair off, because they're just on different power levels entirely. Black Panther and Midnighter will go at it, and Blue Marvel and Apollo will battle it out. So who wins there? Well, let's take a look at Black Panther versus Midnighter. Physically, I gotta give the edge to Midnighter. Now, in terms of strength, they're pretty similar. T'Challa is strong enough to bring down a 5-ton rhino, knock out a T-Rex, and has ripped through an airplane hatch that's being pressurized by Hydra Man. But Midnighter has shown some similar strength, and he's a whole lot more ruthless with how he uses it. Like, he's ripped out a man's spine, punched through a man's skull and the concrete wall behind it, and punched through a man's chest. Midnighter has even ripped off a metahuman's arm, which reportedly would have taken about 3.7 tons of force per square inch. They're also real similar when it comes to speed and agility. Black Panther has routinely dodged gunfire, even if he was wounded or been beaten up. He's dodged attacks from Captain America and the Fantastic Four, and it's been reported that he moves so fast that is essentially just a blur. On the other hand, Midnighter is fast enough to dodge and even deflect machine gun fire. He kicked away an artillery shell that was fired at him, and Midnighter has even defeated a speedster before. Then Midnighter is definitely more durable than Black Panther. Because while T'Challa can definitely take some attacks, most of his durability comes from the vibranium microwave mesh interlaced throughout his suit. Now, the suit has protected him from shots from Iron Man or the Hulk, but it's not completely impenetrable, especially to bladed weapons, and if Midnighter makes his way through, well, Black Panther has been injured and put down by lesser heroes. On the other hand, Midnighter is superhumanly durable. He's taken hits from Apollo, survived massive multiple explosions, just walked it off, and then his body actually has multiple redundant systems built into it. Like, he has 2 hearts, can turn his pain receptors off, can stay conscious with massive holes inside his chest, and is able to heal from attacks within minutes. Now, Black Panther is probably the better fighter out of these two when it comes to actual skill, as he's considered one of the best martial artists in the Marvel Universe, but I really don't see his skill allowing him to overcome Midnighter's battle computer. I don't even think Black Panther's Wakandan weapons and gear will allow him to overcome that battle computer. So Midnighter's computer is crazy powerful, as his battle precognition basically allows him to know everything about his opponent. And it's like he's had plenty of time to prep before the fight, just that prep takes place all within the first second of the battle. Midnighter has described the battle computer before as finding a closing scene that he loves, then working his way back to the beginning to figure out how it all went down and just following the right steps. Essentially, he's able to process every possible outcome of the battle, billions and trillions of outcomes, before the first punch is even thrown. He'll be able to predict Panther's actions and reactions, countering T'Challa's moves before he even thinks to make them. I'm just not sure that Black Panther can consistently overcome that, especially since they're near physical equals and both skilled fighters. So what about Blue Marvel versus Apollo? Well, both of them are very powerful heroes, but Adam has Apollo beat in almost every physical aspect. Apollo was strong enough to battle against Captain Atom and fly through and destroy spaceships. Well, Blue Marvel was created specifically to be in the same strength level as heroes like Thor and Hulk. This has even been backed up by Namor, as Namor said that Blue Marvel hits as hard as Hulk and Thor. He's carried a meteor the size of Arkansas, briefly knocked out Sentry, and sent him flying into outer space with one punch, beat King Hyperion, one of the biggest and baddest villains out there, and knocked out the ultimate Hulk with just one punch. One punch! The Watchers even said that Blue Marvel has enough strength to split the moon in half. And then while Apollo has been punched halfway across the Earth and wasn't knocked out, Blue Marvel has taken punches or blasts from Nova, Sentry, Anti-Man, and King Hyperion, and just consistently got back up from those attacks. So Blue Marvel is physically more powerful, and consistently gone up against more powerful characters than Apollo. Now that's not to say that Apollo can't really give it to Blue Marvel and make him work in the fight. Apollo is a whole lot more ruthless of a hero, and won't be afraid to just cut loose and really release his full power against Blue Marvel. I mean, even in his fight against Captain Atom, Apollo was punching Atom so hard and so ruthlessly that he thought he might die. But, just like we mentioned before, Blue Marvel has consistently fought against characters just as powerful as Apollo. And Apollo also has a significant weakness in the battle. He has terrible stamina. His energy reserves can be depleted extremely quickly, and that's not going to work out too well with Blue Marvel's antimatter manipulation. Apollo drains very quickly, to the point where he can't leave standing right outside the sun in outer space without significantly decreasing his power. And he said that he drains too fast and withers within the Earth's atmosphere. So just remember that. Then of Blue Marvel's antimatter manipulation, he's actually able to create and unleash anti-photons, which can counter people with photon-based powers, and even burns their bodies. And with Atom being easily one of the smartest men in the Marvel Universe, he's going to be able to come up with a strategy a whole lot sooner than later. Blue Marvel is just too much for Apollo to handle. So then it finally comes down to Blue Marvel versus Midnighter. Now, it might seem like an obvious victory for Atom, but don't rule out Midnighter so quickly. In the New 52, he staggered Etrigan the Demon and Apollo with his punches, took attacks from Etrigan and Red Lanterns, and he used his battle computer to exploit an evolutionary weakness in Martian Manhunter and almost take him down. Midnighter's also going to be angry, very angry, as he just saw his husband get beaten and go down. However, with that said, Blue Marvel beats Midnighter. I couldn't keep on doing this channel in good conscience if I was over here saying that Midnighter takes down Blue Marvel. There's really no way. Atom's just too strong, too fast, too durable, too smart, and has too many powers. He's beating Midnighter, and ultimately leading his team to victory. Black Panther and Blue Marvel win. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. So sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button. More videos just as one every single day. And I'll see you next time.